The high-end 14th gen Intel CPUs are one of the best CPUs for gaming right now. However, it's not the performance that made it well known, but rather its instability issue. You see, the 14th generation CPUs had a serious flaw. Their operating voltage is ridiculously high, which eventually damages the chip. This was caused by aggressive BIOS settings on almost every LGA 1700 Intel motherboard. This whole thing finally ended in 2025 when Intel released the final microcode fix, and I bought my 14700K right after the final fix. The first thing I did after installing Windows was open CPU-Z to check the CPU voltage. So as you can see, the CPU is running at 1.4 volts by default. It's not as crazy as before, but 1.4 volts can still potentially fry the chip. So I opened up the BIOS menu and undervolted the CPU myself. I couldn't set a voltage limit because I'm using a B760 motherboard instead of a Z790 motherboard. So I ended up setting a negative voltage offset. It's a bit complicated, but if you're interested in CPU undervolting, make sure to let me know in the comments below. After undervolting, the core voltage stays under 1.35 volts most of the time, which is much safer than running above 1.4. However, nobody knows how much voltage it takes to fry a CPU, since every CPU die is unique. In general, 1.35 volts is considered a safer value based on cases I found online. Aside from preventing the CPU from frying, undervolting will also keep it a little bit cooler and extend its lifespan. That's because lower voltage equals lower power consumption, as a result, lowering the CPU temperature. Here's a quick comparison between the default temperature and the undervolted one. Both tests were taken after cooling the CPU with maximum fan speed for 5 minutes. The result in CS2 wasn't that surprising. The undervolted one consumes 40 watts less on average than default, while being 6 to 7 degrees Celsius cooler. Frankly, I haven't had any issues with the CPU over the past 8 months, and I've spent hours playing games and editing videos with it. There were zero instability issues and everything runs really well. It is safe to say that these CPUs will most likely not fry themselves ever again with the latest BIOS or by undervolting. So, the instability issue has come to an end, but that is not the only good news for these Intel CPUs. These days, RAM prices are going completely insane, so it might actually be a better idea to build a DDR4 system instead of DDR5. Luckily, Intel's 12th to 14th gen CPU supports both DDR4 and DDR5 with corresponding motherboards. I know that AMD's 5000 series CPUs also support DDR4, but they're less powerful compared to Intel's counterparts, even for X3D CPUs. This might actually make Intel CPUs relevant again by the end of 2025 and possibly 2026. That's because memory IC manufacturers such as Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron have confirmed that their 2026 production capacity has been sold out, and the majority of them are HBM chips for AI servers. That's why DDR5 RAM modules are so expensive these days due to the limited supply. We can only rely on more affordable DDR4 RAM that's in stock if we want to build a cheaper PC right now. Honestly, no one would have thought that Intel's 12th to 14th gen CPUs may actually be good choices again after all those instability issues.